What is going on? You're listening to episode 252 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, player 2 tonight. Nightcrawler, what's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going? It's Crawler coming at you.
That's right. It is a snowpocalypse.
No hero today.
No player 3. Eric is out with the stomach virus. Yeah, he says it's a bad time over there. He's in chat right now, so... that music you just heard is from On Being Human, you guys. You can check them out on Spotify and YouTube. Remember, this is an unofficial Nintendo podcast. And if you'd like to get yourself a free book from Audible, head on over to audibletrial.com/NPC. Pick up something awesome like Blood, Sweat, and Pixels or Ready Player One. That's audibletrial.com/NPC. The chair I'm sitting in from OP Seat. Head on over to n64josh.com/OP Seat to automatically save $10 at checkout, and I do believe all the chairs are $20 off right now, plus free shipping. So get yourself a sweet gaming chair for around $210. It's not bad. I think that's for the smaller size, and around $270 for the bigger ones, I believe. So there you go. Not too bad. Not too bad for a gaming chair. Good stuff. Lastly, my book, Another Castle, n64josh.com/anothercastle, if you want to check that out. And with that, we'll get on over to the announcements.
Hey, listen!
Okay, so I am currently building a team of writers for n64josh.com. So I've had a handful of people email me. That's good. Do that. I think what's going to be best is hit me up in Discord. I'm going to set up a server. I will give you special permission so that the news team only will be a part of this room. And as news comes in, somebody can say, I'll write this one, just so we're not doubling up and everybody's communicating real well. Things like that, okay? So the idea here is if you want to write, you want to become a part of this, you can self-promote all you want. Like, the idea here is that we all kind of grow together. So if you're a Twitch streamer, whatever, my only request is that you do have some writing chops, right? Like, and at the very least, download Grammarly so that you can get...
It'll fix it for you.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to do a ton of editing. The idea here is that we all can be self-sufficient, but we can all grow together, okay? So... hit me up in the Discord, n64josh.com/Discord. Hit me up in there. Say, hey, I want to write. I will add permissions to you. And then hit me up at n64josh, right? Make sure you tag me. And then I'll get you in that room. And if there's any other questions, things like that, we can go from there. But yeah, the idea is really that we can grow. We can grow together. You can get your writing chops. This can go. I mean, it's the kind of thing you can even put on a resume or whatever if you're wanting experience. So
gets you that byline.
Exactly. So the other announcement is I'm actually going to start some. I'm going to start doing some coaching. So if anybody is interested in like getting their content off the ground, getting to that next level. Talking about the mindset, you just have a lot of questions, hit me up right now. Basically for the first 10 people that hit me up, and you can info at n64josh.com, whatever it is. I'm going to do a $25. It's $25 for a 30-minute session of just Q&A with me, whatever you need to know so that you can get started with podcasting, streaming, whatever it is. I've been at this for 10 years. I've got a plethora of knowledge, and I want to start sharing it and helping people. I share quite a bit of free content already on my YouTube channel, things like that. And so if this gives you one-on-one time with me in a Discord call and I can even record it for you if you want to be able to take it with you so you can re-listen to it.
Get a private YouTube video or something. Yeah.
And so, this is something I want to start doing because I know I get questions a lot. I have people asking me quite often, hey, how can I do this? How can I do that? And it's hard for me to, one, give enough time to give the best answers, but then two, this way, you can ask the exact questions you want. So info@n64josh.com. Let me know that you're interested in a coaching session. Like I said, it'll be $25 for 30-minute session. And if it goes long, whatever, I'm not going to be like a big stickler on it. Like I want this to be valuable.
End call. Just end the call.
Yeah, just end call. That'll be another 25. No. So
but Discord has like tools and stuff you can screen share and people can see what you're looking at and all that kind of stuff. So it can be informative.
Absolutely. The last thing, I worked on a parody of Toss a Coin to Your Witcher. It's called Toss a Coin to Your Washer, and it's about doing laundry at a laundromat. And so I think the video just went live on I'm not sure if Cybers is in chat, but it's on her channel, and she wrote the lyrics. I played the music and sang the song, and then we recorded the video. And so if you go to n64josh.com/witcher, that'll take you to the video. That link will be set up once this goes live out in the real world. So
I like Midfi Senpai's version.
What does he say?
Toss a sub to your Twitcher.
Toss a sub to your Twitcher. There you go. Love it.
I still haven't watched Witcher. I need to.
I don't think there's any spoilers in the little comedy sketch we made.
I've seen the little things going around of the toss a coin stuff, but I don't know the context of it, I guess.
Yeah. So there you go. I do want to let everybody know too, n64josh.com. There's going to be a lot more content on there, so check it out. I put up 3 articles by myself today, and I wanted to start being more of a news source. I'm going to then take those articles hopefully each day or every other day or whatever, and kind of recap them on my YouTube channel, right? So gonna be a lot of content coming out. I'm kind of getting back in the saddle, getting things going again for the year. So pretty stoked about that. But with that, we're gonna jump on over to what we've been playing. All right, all the Nintendo games. Tell me about them, baby.
My kids were pushing me last night to play some more Luigi's Mansion. We're close to the end, so I think I got through about halfway of floor 13, so we need to finish that. We're in a rec center. It's got gym equipment and a pool and some other stuff, so working on that. The most I've been playing is probably Mario Kart races, which are quick, nice 3-minute things in between some downtime when I've been playing Escape from Tarkov on my PC. So that's the most Nintendo I've been playing. I do really enjoy the time I spend playing Dragon's Quest, but I haven't been putting a ton of time into that. So I think that's what I kind of want to stream when I get back going on it. So I just need to buckle down and do it and pull myself away from some other stuff. But it has kind of been a lull lately. I mean, we got Tokyo Mirage Session coming out, I think, Friday.
Yep, 17th.
So it's been a little bit of a lull over the holiday of new games, but I haven't gone back to anything in my backlog really that much. Mario Kart's just a good standby that's always fun to go back to.
You said you're playing that between rounds. Like, are you jumping in online matches or?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yep.
Cool. The 17th is also when that little competition starts, isn't it?
I believe so.
We had it in last week's notes, but they're gone now. So, I can, maybe somebody in chat can grab it. So, So okay, I've done a little more Witcher, a little more Pokemon.
I saw you actually playing off. I saw you playing off stream. I saw you on playing at some point. I was like, oh wow, look at him going and playing.
Are you talking about last night?
No, I think it was over the weekend.
I turned it on to download the
the update.
The update and the.
Did you download the demo? We'll talk about that here in a little bit.
I did. I haven't tried it yet though.
Okay.
But it looks. I mean, I can't believe I'm getting sucked into these RPGs, but it looks like a game that I might enjoy. You know. So we'll see though. We'll see. I saw like Mel in chat talking about it and stuff. She was like, this makes me pick. I hate it. I don't want to pick anything. So, yeah, there you go. But yeah, I did play a little bit on Monday night, and literally by a little bit, I mean, I turned it on, finished a cutscene, saved, and then fell asleep. Like
That works.
that was the extent of my playing. So
I was exhausted when I was playing Luigi's Mansion with my kids. I was like falling asleep just like playing it, and I don't know if it's just that pacing of that game, because it's beautiful to look at, but it's not very engaging unless you're in a fight. So it is a lot of that puzzle searching around trying to find everything that you can. And I was at the end of the night, and I when I put my kids to bed, I ended up falling asleep for like an hour and a half, and I think it recharged me a little bit, and I came down and played more, but I didn't play Luigi's Mansion. But I was definitely running on empty when we were getting ready for bed, and that game wasn't helping keep me awake at all. So that was
gotcha.
that. But
yeah, that's yeah. I hear you. So other than that, I've had a number of indie studios send me games, so I'm hoping I can get some more coverage out for you guys very soon in that department.
when does the I listened to your episode over the break, the Ottoman Empire, when does that come out?
I don't think that's Q1, I believe.
Okay.
2020. I don't know that there's an exact date quite yet. So, but yeah, it is coming soon for sure. So, yeah, I didn't really jump into anything other than that. I'm looking. Yeah, I still haven't even cracked Dragon Quest yet. I haven't opened it yet. So, one of these days.
As I say, you took a big bite out of the RPG machine there with Witcher and Dragon Quest, buying it in the same shopping trip. So
yeah, that's go big or go home, right? So
yep.
But all right, well, cool. Let's go ahead and jump into the news. The Pokemon Direct was last Thursday. We have a link to the Direct here. You can watch it right in the show notes. n64josh.com/NPC252 or 3.
Yeah, it's updated. 252.
Okay, there we go. That's what I thought. And yeah, they get into Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. It's coming out March 6th. The demo is available. I have it downloaded. Haven't tried it yet. Progress will carry over into full release. Yeah.
I downloaded it. I started it up. It asks you a bunch of questions, and then it like assigns you a Pokemon to play as, and then you pick a partner as well. And then you can choose if you don't like what they picked based on your personality and questions that they asked. You can pick whoever you want, I guess. But I guess I don't fully understand it. I think this is I don't know if it's a shot-for-shot remake of the 2005 game, or is it like, are they adding some stuff to it? Maybe chat would be able to tell us a little bit more, but I think that's some of the reasons people are a little upset with the price as well, is that it is a 15-year-old game that is the same, but just updated graphically a little bit. And it is kind of a different art style. It's kind of a watercolory, I think somebody described it in Discord today as like looking like Winnie the Pooh, kind of a little bit.
Yeah, it really does. That it's I think it's a cool looking art style. I mean, of course, I love my pixel art or whatever, but there's a style of art that I don't care for, and a lot of times, like I think it's the Steam World games, they kind of go towards it where it almost looks like clip art, where then like the arms just kind of move on a joint, kind of like willy nilly almost, and so. This art style I really liked. Putting in chat is saying, what do I think the full price tag on this game is? I mean, I have no idea anything about these games, so I have no idea how long they are, anything like that. I mean, Pokemon knows that they have a premium product, right? So if it's not $59.99, I'll be surprised. If it came in at $39.99, I think that would be great. I don't know how much content's there.
Because it is like a remake of a handheld game, or like a reimagining of a handheld game, like I could maybe see them going with the $40 price tag, but I mean, they did Let's Go for $60. They did New Super Mario Bros. U for $60. I mean, they don't have problems putting out older games for full retail release. Yep. If you want it cheaper, obviously it'll be $10 off at Walmart. I think Amazon normally sells it for cheaper for a little bit at the very beginning. If you're lucky enough to still have your Best Buy Gamer Club, then you can get a little bit cheaper. But yeah, it's Walmart seems like the best place to get it if you want to get it on those $10 off. But it probably will be a full retail release, I would think, at 60.
You know what's funny about that $10 off is that it doesn't show that price on their website, so you can't get it to price match anywhere, which is super frustrating.
Yeah, they want you to come spend the money at that. That's why they do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it's, and Henny in chat says Link's Awakening. I was thinking the same thing. I mean, it was a $60 game. I mean, it again, it always boils down to, if you don't think it's worth it, don't buy it. And the alternative is there's nothing there because they are working on something else and it's going to take longer potentially. So at least it is some Pokemon content for those that are way into it. And I mean, I don't know. This is one thing that's always confused me a little bit with the Pokemon community, because I'm kind of on the outskirts. That not a lot of them wanted Let's Go. They wanted the mainline game. So I'm not sure if this is for everybody or if it is a little bit niche, and there's some people that are going to be like, oh, I love these games, I'm going to go back. There's a nostalgia factor there and everything, so
well, this is a tactics game, right? Isn't that what this is? I'm not fully versed on what Mystery Dungeon is.
I think
it's a tactics game.
It looks like an RPG similar to like Octopath, but I could be mistaken. I've never played them.
Yeah, me either. We're super educated about this.
Yeah, exactly. But from Riven from chat, she's been playing the Pokemon games forever. She says there are people who like the Mystery Dungeon games. So, and maybe somebody in chat can tell us, does it play more like an RPG? It looked very, very basic JRPG-esque is what it looked like to me. So,
but like if they were to do a remaster of Snap, tons of people would jump all over that. I bet that would be more successful than anything if they did Snap.
Benji says a chess-like game, so that would kind of be a tactics game, like you were saying, to a certain extent. Yeah, so there you go. And it was a little bit confusing just watching the gameplay style, because it wasn't like you hit an enemy and then went into a battle scene, and it looked like they were fighting kind of real time, doing whatever. So yeah, tactics style. Blitzkrieg says the demo wasn't for him. Couldn't go more than 20 minutes. So I'll give it a shot tomorrow on stream. I'll put up a video while I'm, do a little first look at it and kind of give some impressions. But I've kind of have a Pokemon bug right now. It's just like, I don't know why I don't have a lot of nostalgia for it, but I even, one of the things I really want to start doing is I want to, I want to interview a handful of people from that have loved these games forever, right? So if that's you, hit me up, because I want to make some videos just interviewing people talking about the nostalgia factor and getting some of the stories behind this game, because I've said it on here before, but I firmly believe that Pokemon has that same nostalgic pull that Mario does, but it's for a different generation. Right, like my generation, I can't remember how old you are, Crawler, but maybe you've probably more towards Mario.
I was
than
near
Pokemon,
I was 98 when they came to the States. I was 12.
Yeah, so I mean, you were right at that prime age, but you also may have been a little more interested in the ladies at that point. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, middle school. It was middle school, so it wasn't super cool to bring a Game Boy and Pokemon to school in middle school. Yeah,
that's true. So, yeah, so I mean, I'm really curious about getting some of these. I want to get some of these stories out, because I think they are. I think they're worth telling, and I want to hear them, because I mean, I love the nostalgia with Mario and things like that, but having little to no nostalgia for Pokemon, like, I want to hear about, like, I know there's going to be some people that are like, they go in to see the movie with their mom or their dad or things like that, and playing the Game Boy games and collecting the cards. I mean, it was it was a crazy time, and I don't know that we'll ever see another time like it due to the digital age, right? Like that was like kind of the tail end of the like cartoons were really good marketing tools to get kids to buy different things like games
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say,
trading cards.
I remember waking up in the morning and watching, like it would play at 6 o'clock in the morning or whatever. I'd watch an episode after as I was getting ready for school or something like that, and that's what I remember. But yeah, I wasn't super big into the show. I would watch it occasionally, but I didn't track all of the progress. And it's kind of funny to watch sometimes when Twitch does their marathons or whatever, and it's on. I think it's maybe still on Netflix, all of it. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's anime, and it's I mean, this kid's game that's turned into a phenomenon that it is, and it's bigger than what I think they initially thought it was going to be.
Yeah, chat right now. Unknown Killer says, I still don't get Pokemon. Never even tried to play one, and I'm 37. Henny's like, LOL, I brought it to school until the cartoons started showing on TV. Then I was getting made fun of. Blitzkrieg says he memorized the rap. I was cool, right? Right, guys? Ribbon Bell says, yeah, super cool. So there you go. There you go. Memorize the rap. But okay. Next up, Pokemon Expansion Pass announced will cost $30. Two different parts of the pass were announced. The Isle of Armor coming out in June and the Crown Tundra coming out in the fall. Game Freak said they will add more than 200 more Pokemon to the game. All Pokemon will be available to everyone regardless of ownership of the DLC, which, what I say last week, like the internet will burn to the ground if they are Pokemon behind a paywall.
Yeah, you just don't get to catch them. You get to trade for them.
That's true. That's true. And so let's see, where was I at?
Players without the expansion pass will be able to trade for the Pokemon and from the 2 new areas. You won't be able to go. I believe they're going to be isolated, those 2 new areas.
Got it. Lots of new cosmetic additions are coming to the game. Hairstyles, clothing. You could customize your bike a little bit. Like there was a lot. Yep. So
I think who is it? Mr. Cool Red Luigi and putting in chat were like too much cosmetic stuff. They didn't show enough of the actual game. It was all just like, look at all the stuff you can do to yourself or your bike or your bag or all that kind of stuff.
I think I don't know, from just from what I've seen, just running around the wild area and things like that. Like I do think people like the ability to customize their character and things like that. It seems Well,
and talking about the wild area, I think they said in the direct that the whole Isle of Isle of Armor is going to be like the wild area, the whole thing, like where there's dens that's another thing as well, is like there's going to be, you get to go into the dens in these DLC islands, and you get to go progress through and go find a Gigantamax or whatever I think they are in the dens, and you can, I think, team up with 3 other people and do that together as well. So I mean, it sounds interesting. It sounds like some stuff, but like we were talking a little bit beforehand, the fact that this has to be, like, you and I both bought the dual pack, and I think mainly because we wanted the steelbooks as well, but we got both versions, and if you want to play the DLC on Sword and Shield, you'll have to buy it twice. It'll be $60. And I just think that Game Freak needs to like adjust how they think, and because I think this is more Game Freak than Nintendo, and understand that yes, people buy both versions. Yes, the alternative was they released a whole new game and you had to buy it anyway, but it's now 2020. Let's get with what we're doing and release the DLC and have it be, if it was $30 and it worked on both, then I would buy it. But like at this point, I'm leaning towards not even getting it at all, because I'm not playing Pokemon after I beat Shield, and I know I have post-game stuff to go do in Shield, and I want to see the other 2 gyms in Sword, but I haven't done it yet. So it's like the drive for me isn't there. So I don't know if being stuck into one version is not really something I want to do for $30. So it's like if I could do both, then maybe, but right now I'm kind of leaning against it.
So it's funny because we're kind of on opposing views, and I think we'll get into it more at the end of the during our talking points. But yeah, it'll be a fun discussion nonetheless. So Nintendo showed off some more of the Mario theme park coming to Universal Studios Japan this year. We have a link to the trailer. Did you watch? I watched a little bit of this. Did you watch it?
Yeah, so it's a full like music video. I don't know the artist. I think it's a Japanese music artist, but it starts off with a few different people in different places playing their Switch, and then it progresses to them all jumping into a warp pipe and coming out in a cartoon world, and Mario's there talking to them, and they all start running and jumping on blocks and punching the question blocks and collecting coins, and it ends up with some of them throwing fireballs and catching stars. So it's interesting. I think I don't know if this was made super public or if it was for press, but when I was going through news articles looking for all of our stuff here, it looked like there was a press conference kind of about this, and they have kind of more details on what was teased before, which is the linkage of a smartphone app and like gamifying your experience in the park. And there's going to be things called power-up bands, and I don't know if this is something that comes with your ticket or if it's something you have to buy extra, because there's different versions. It looks like there's Mario, Luigi, Peach, all sorts, Toad, different versions of these power-up bands. But they're supposed to, I believe, link with the phone, and who knows, if you race Mario Kart in the Mario Kart area and you win, maybe you get more coins put on your power band or whatever, and they're kind of just gamifying your experience in the park. It seems interesting, but it's kind of a big question mark, I think, right now, unless they went. I don't know if they've gone into more details about it. It
sounds to me like it could be like tickets at like a Chuck E. Cheese, but it's just they're all digital.
Well, because originally, I don't know how long ago, when the mock-ups of like DK Land and Mario Kart and Mushroom Kingdom came out, I think it was rumored that there was going to be linkage with your Nintendo account, and like you could move those points onto your Switch for something. So I think they're all supposed to be linked a little bit.
I see. Yeah, cool. It's I mean, I want to go to Japan.
Is California or Florida supposed to open first in the States? Do you know?
Every time I've talked with somebody about it, I get conflicting. I hear, no, it's California first. No, it's Florida first. So I don't actually know. I don't know. And so maybe somebody in chat knows, but I'm not sure. So announced this morning. Ooh, not a Nintendo Direct.
Leaked this morning.
Yeah, not a Nintendo Direct. Cali 2021.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm jumping ahead. Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Cali 2021. So, yeah. Announced this morning the last year one fighter pack for Smash. The last characters available are going to be revealed on Thursday morning at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. And
I think it's 2 in the UK if you're listening over in the UK.
It's going to be Geralt from The Witcher.
I hope not.
That's the tweet I put up today that set my Twitter on fire with him in the bathtub. With a bunch of people going, I didn't even think about that. So that was kind of fun. But I mean, hey, the picture's got Sakurai holding up 3 fingers. The Witcher 3 just came to Switch. Also Suda51 had 3 fingers up in one of their pictures recently. So I had some people thinking Travis touchdown.
That could be a W. Somebody, Midfight Senpai is saying Waluigi.
It's W for Waluigi. So, yeah. I mean, there's. I'm still like, I want to see that sticky nade come in. I want that to be an M actually, not a W for Master Chief. That's
that could work. Or Microsoft.
Yeah. So, that's.
So if this plays out like Banjo and Terry, we got our like detailed 30 to 40 minute showcase of the character that morning, and then later that afternoon the game updates and we have the character by like 5 or 6 Pacific time usually. So I'm that's what I'm kind of banking on. Usually when it's this early, we're gonna see the character for the. I think I saw a tweet that said it's about 35 minutes long.
Yep.
And then, I would expect patch. What is it? Are we on 5.0 then?
I don't
even know.
I couldn't even
5
tell
or
you.
6, I think probably.
Yeah.
We will. We'll hopefully have a new character Thursday to play.
There you go. There you go. Let's see here. The BioShock the collection for Switch was kind of leaked by a ratings board in Taiwan. So this was a game I'd been wanting to see on the Switch I know for sure I talked about it last year, maybe even the year before. Like it just to me, the first BioShock is one of those must-play games. Like it should be on everybody's bucket list, especially if you are into first-person shooters and you really love good storytelling. Like, some people said the game freaked them out. It was scary. It never. I think I can remember having one jump scare, but it never really. I don't like. And if you go back and watch some of the first BioShock trailers, they are brutal. There is a character called Big Daddy. He looks like a giant, like old school scuba diver. He's got the big helmet, right?
With a drill on his hand,
glass in it, and he's got a giant drill on one hand. And in one of those trailers, that drill takes care of your character in a pretty gnarly way. So, I can't recommend BioShock the first 2. I haven't played the second or third game, and there was weird stuff that happened with the second game, like the from my understanding, the people that made the first game, they were asked about the second game, and they're like, nothing was ever said to us, and this game was already in development. So, yeah, kind of a weird thing that happened there, and then I'm not sure what happened.
That's 2K, right? 2K developed that.
They published
it.
Yeah, they published it. So, yeah, games I highly recommend. I have the collection on my Xbox One, but it was like I really hope it comes to.
I was say I have 1 and 2 on 360, but I never like sat down and played them. I got them on like Platinum Hits or something like that, and I just never. Yeah. I started playing 1, but I don't think I played it probably at a time I was busy doing other things, and I got it because it was cheap, and it is a game that is kind of defining it. It pushed kind of the limits of the 360 with water effects and everything that it did, like really well. And I know that opening cinematic just looks so good on even on the 360 now.
Oh,
and
so
yeah, so I mean, it'll be good. Infinite was different, I think, because it goes up to a new city, and it was in the sky as opposed to being underwater, and it was different. But
was it a prequel?
No, because I think
there's DLC where you go back.
I think
to
one of the
Rapture.
little sisters is that girl in the third one. I think it's after the fact.
I see. So, yeah. Anyway, good stuff. Good stuff there. The games, the ratings list each game separately and as a collection. So maybe physical release. I wrote about it in my article today. I'm curious if it's going to be similar to Resident Evil, where one game's on the cart and the other 2 are DLC. Hope that's not the case, but it may end up going that route.
As long as they don't look as bad as the Ezio. Was it the Ezio collection, or some of those Assassin's Creed games didn't look as good as they could have, I think, on Switch.
Yeah, that's true. So, even if I'm of the mind after playing The Witcher, and again, I haven't run into any like real bad slowdown or anything like that, but like bring all the games. Yep. If you can play in bed or whatever, like, and deal with the graphics being a little bit less than, of course they're not going to be Xbox One. I mean, Doom Eternal's trailer came out today, and I was like, oh my gosh, this makes me want to buy a PC and crank it to ultra. Like, the game looks crazy.
You still need to buy a PC, regardless.
I know I do, but we have no release date for the Switch. There wasn't even a Nintendo logo.
Yeah, but if it came out when it's supposed to on Switch, you wouldn't be playing it because you know what else comes out that day?
Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
In my article, I said, do you want to spend the day with Nook or Satan? It's really up to you. It's your choice. So, yeah, but man, Doom looks so good. And I mean, it was playable on the Switch. I liked it. Of course, 60 frames a second. I mean, come on. The games are going to be better on the more powerful consoles. But maybe Doom Eternal is a launch title for the 4K Switch, right?
We'll see.
That could be. Oh boy. Xenoblade Chronicles DE
Definitive Edition. I just.
Thanks. Because I was like, I don't remember what DE is, but I'm sure somebody will. Could be out May 29th, leaked by Danish retailer Cool Shop. Ooh. Okay. It's a busy time of year. Today was the day of delays because Square delayed Final Fantasy VII Remake a month to like April 10th. I don't know when Cyberpunk comes out. I think it's April 17th or 13th.
Okay. And then Avengers was supposed to be, I think, May, and that got pushed a big push all the way back to September something.
Good.
Which that might be the death certificate on that game because Bungie will probably have an update for Destiny around then, but you never know.
We'll see. I imagine that's a different audience, but
I just hope that because I'm excited for this. I have this pre-order that was one of the last things. Like I said, I did it with my gamer club, and with how much I loved Chronicles 2, I'm really excited to see what the story is about and play this game. But I know it's going into even being on the that's the entry point into summer. Usually that was a safe spot, but now with everything kind of being pushed from last year, and then this big initiative to get everything out on this current gen before next gen comes out, and everything is hyped up at first week of June at E3. It's the safe spot of summer is kind of becoming very busy and full.
Yeah, that's true. April's is a big month too, because I saw Blonde Nerd from What's Good Games. She tweeted out, and I think it was Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy, and there was one more game in April, and it was like it's a busy month.
Yeah.
So
well, and speaking, I mentioned E3 real quick. Sony announced today that they're not coming back, which everyone thought with a new console coming out that they were definitely going to show up at E3 this year and show off their console, but they said they're going to go around to a bunch of different trade shows and player experiences to promote the console. So
they won't be there, or they won't be part of E3, because Devolver is there, but they're not technically part of E3, and the ESA has tried to shut them down every time. You can go get free beer and food.
Well, I mean,
Devolver
it seems almost like everyone, Microsoft is paying, but almost all of their stuff is off-site. It's across the street at their theater right there, and then Nintendo seems to be the only one that's of the main publishers of the big three that are there on premises at the ESA.
Yep.
And it's from everywhere I heard. You were there this year. You had been to one or two beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the accounts I heard this past year at 2019's E3 was that it just felt empty and it wasn't kind of the big hubbubaloo that it normally is. I mean, did it feel like you were running from appointment to appointment, but how did it feel on the floor?
Yeah, there was definitely a sense of of emptiness, and I think a lot of that had to do with Sony and Microsoft not being there at all. When I was there, it was all three were on the show floor, right? Because you also have the public.
Isn't Sony normally next to Nintendo, kind of, and they're in the same hall together normally?
I think that was the case, but I mean, it's been a few years, so the thing is, I'm not even sure that I'm excited to go back to E3 this year. I feel like PAX was a little bit better of an experience, like, you know, and yeah.
And I think that's maybe what Sony is pushing for, because it's so expensive and it's so limited on actual the player the just the attendee tickets for E3, and it's so hard and busy to try to get in and see something at E3, that maybe they're going to do a big push at all 4 PAXs and at Gamescom. And even though I think Gamescom is a bad way to communicate your message to this half of the world, like, just because the time differences, everything just gets announced at a bad time in the morning that nobody's like hyped and ready to watch it. That,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think they want to bring their message directly to the player, it seems like, this year. So I just hope it doesn't put a damper on kind of the big hype that leads up to E3 and everything. And but,
you remember Sony's last E3? It was like the laughing stock of
yeah.
E3.
2018 was bad because they got up and they paraded the press from into 4 different rooms. Instead of having the show come to the press had to go to the show. Yep. And it was bad.
Yeah.
It was like 15 minutes of dead space in between each of their 4 different pillars that they showed off, and it was a lot of retreads as well. So it landed very bad, and I think they felt the pushback from that, and so that's why they've left. But everyone thought they were going to come back. But this will be interesting. It's a new age, and they don't need E3 anymore. They can market with influencers and other cons and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and I mean they're the top of their game in games right now. You know, like they can, yeah, they'll be just fine. So let's get on over to our talking points here.
Here we go!
All right, so you started talking a little bit about it. You're not too pleased with the Pokemon news, the way they're going about their DLC.
Yeah, I mean, I think the DLC, it's great that it's there. I think it's a disconnect with understanding the user base, and I think from what I saw on different forums, even in Discord here, in your Discord, everyone's like, oh, if this was, or like the previous versions, they put out Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and you have to buy the whole thing again with the added content in it, and you have to play through the whole game again. And while that is the case, they just were, I think Game Freak was slow to embrace just DLC in general, because the 3DS could do that. They could download something, and it wasn't as easy to do on the 3DS, because you definitely had to have bigger expanded memory on that to be able to handle it. But I just don't like the fact that it's separated. Like, it is something that would cost another full $60 for you and me if we were to want to get both versions and have access to all the Pokemon. While it is still, like, it makes the total price tag, I guess, what would that be? That would be
$20 less.
Well, no, it'd be 180 if you have both versions at 120, and then an additional 30 and 30 is another 60. So it's 180 if you want all the content across both games. Whereas they already have that $60 barrier to entry, and so you might sell somebody more on buying, if they didn't buy the 2-pack, and their $30 DLC would get them access to the expanded content on Shield. If they had Sword, maybe they would sell a full additional copy of Sword. I don't know. Like, I just feel like
that'll happen next November.
Yeah.
Right, when they have a Game of the Year edition that comes with everything.
Are they gonna do it? I don't know if have they done that.
I mean, the physical copy with everything in it, that's not uncommon to see. You know, that's not uncommon. So, you know, the thing is, like, after it seems like the community is a little bit divided. I'm like, whatever. Like it's $60. I was kind of surprised at that at first. I thought it would just be like an expansion pack and it wouldn't matter which game you had, but there's also exclusive stuff in each one. So I mean, it makes sense to me. And you know, I don't know. It seems to me in playing the game and talking with a lot of people, most people picked one version. So I don't think that this is as big of a deal to most people because they're just buying the one copy of so they're looking at a total of $90, which is $10 more than if they bought Moon and Ultra Moon.
Yeah.
Right. And from my understanding, after talking with some people at a meetup this last week, like Ultra Moon was essentially the same game with a few different Pokemon and maybe but like the same overall map or whatever, but like just some few tweaks here and there and different, so like to me this seems like this seems like there's some value here. We will know more when we know exactly like how big this content is, how long it is.
Yeah.
I mean
that's another thing because they mention like this dojo on the Isle of, I keep forgetting what it is. The Isle of Armor. It's like some dojo that you go meet with a mentor that's going to be there. And it's not clear if you're going to go out and there's gyms on this small island that is been uninhabited, like all of a sudden we found this island and we're going there, or what I'm wondering is if that's going to be the hub where all your like gym battles take place and because they mention like other trainers that are aspiring to become gym leaders in their future are there training. Do you set up shop there and that's where you do all your fights is at that dojo, and it's not really a whole lot of going around in the different themed gyms and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of where I'm wondering if that's where this is going to be. And then what remains is the whole island is supposed to be set up like the wild area where you can see more Pokemon out in the wild, and there's raids and dungeon, like the underground I forget what their dens are and all that kind of stuff. But is that kind of just all it is like this hub place that you go do your battles, and then there's other Pokemon in different regions of the island to go find? I don't know. And they're setting it up where it's winter kind of esque with the second DLC and more summery kind of stuff. So they're not even going to have like separate biomes kind of within the DLC. It's going to be that they're separated, and that's how they're separating half those Pokemon out, is that you're only going to get the kind of the fair weather Pokemon in the first part, and then the cold weather and other types of Pokemon in the second part.
And I wouldn't be surprised from what I've heard about Ultra Moon and things like that is if some of the gyms were possibly reused from the Galar region. Right? Like it really wouldn't surprise me all that much. I don't have my pulse on this community that well, but it seems like Pokemon knows that they have a premium product, that they have a brand that people are going to buy whatever they put out. That's really what it seems like. And well, Star Wars kind of learned the hard way that it's not, you can't make that assumption that you're always going to just be able to sell the brand. Eventually, if the customer doesn't find the value there, they'll stop purchasing it.
Yeah. Well, you just saying that triggered something for me and made me realize why we see Pokemon released the way it is. It's mom and dad and grandma and grandpa who are having to go out, because mainly Pokemon is a kid's game. It's able to read, you can, and you're kind of a kid, you're playing Pokemon for the most part. We are aged out of that key demographic that is people with our own money that can go spend on Pokemon. We're also gamers and we understand the DLC mentality. I think that is where, and I maybe historically this is why Pokemon has done this, they release new versions because mom and dad can see that physical copy in the store, and they don't understand when little Johnny comes asking for $30 to pay to the eShop to get this new content. They don't understand that. So that is probably why we haven't seen this in the past, and maybe this won't land as well as they were hoping. I think enough parents anymore are aware of that, but it's still. I forgot to tell this last week, but we were shopping out for Christmas shopping with my wife, and I was talking about wanting to get my son a 3DS or a 2DS Wedge, possibly, and she goes, "Well, can it play all the Switch games?" And I'm like, "No, it can play 3DS games." And she had no clue, and like I have all this stuff in the house, and she's around it, but she's not tuned into it. So I think that them understanding the general population understanding DLC and what games play what and what systems play what isn't out there, and so having those separate releases I think help them, and maybe we'll see that this does okay, maybe it doesn't do okay. I don't know.
This series is turning 24 on February 27th, right? Pokemon at the game release, the first ones in Japan were February 27th, 1996. Yep. So, like I talked about, like there is that nostalgia factor for people, right? That I mean, you were 12 in 96 or 98? You were 10?
98. Yeah, 98.
So you were 10 years old in 98 or 96, right? That's when, you are the demographic that's still opening their wallet and buying these games, but you don't have the nostalgia factor. You didn't play through all the games. But in my chat today, multiple people, like some people that I was surprised by, that were like, "Oh, I've played every one of these. I love them. I can't, like they can't stop playing them." Like this series has some serious pull, and they know it. They know it.
And they lost me, like Pokemon lost me at Gen 2 when I had to learn an additional amount of Pokemon. I knew the 151 and I liked it from the show and all that kind of stuff, and I didn't move on with the show after the original region. That's why Let's Go was it landed more for me, and I enjoyed it more because I know the Pokemon, I know kind of more of the matchups and all that kind of stuff. But having to learn, like I had to play Shield with a chart that I sent to you that you should be playing, but you just instead asked Chad. But but I still like they added all these new like subtypes and all that kind of stuff that I don't have the time. Like some of it is like you think about it and it should make sense, like what beats what, but there's still some obscure stuff that I look at a chart and that's how I play it.
Yeah.
That being said, I was happy that I like beat the main part of the game or whatever, at least on one of them. And I know that there's more stuff after the fact, but because I haven't gone back to that additional stuff, I haven't even caught the Shield legendary Pokemon or whatever in my version yet. So for me, like this also is just a fact that I did it. I was happy with it. And I haven't had a desire to go complete the Pokedex or do anything like that. So more DLC doesn't really get me all excited. So, I mean, and then the fact that if I wanted to choose one of the two, I couldn't just buy one thing one time, then that's even more. I already have I have the stuff downloaded. I have the expansion pass for the DLC pass for Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I have it for Fire Emblem Three Houses. And I haven't gone back and done the stuff I want. I've said I want to, but I haven't gone back and done it. So that is what they bank on. They bank on you buying it now and forgetting about it or doing it and enjoying it, but they don't care. They already have your money. So for me, this is something I've put down and I haven't really played, so it's not really moving the needle at all.
Yeah, I hear you.
And you're kind of on a slow burn right now because it came out in November, and you're still what gym number did you just beat today?
3.
So yeah, you're taking your time, you're enjoying it. I was listening to you playing a little bit while I was working on notes right before you stopped, and the music in that final gym battle was awesome. It was bumping. It was good music. So yeah, I mean they did a good job with the game, but for me it's just I haven't put it back in and played it. So meh.
Yeah, and I will never take the stance that I feel like the publishers and the developers are like against the gamer. You know, it's like there's guys in suits that probably make some bad decisions that the people that really care about this stuff have to weather, you know, as they're trying to make these games and get them out on time and all that kind of stuff. Like there's so much that goes into it where it's like I don't quite understand the mentality where I feel like a lot of these the vocal minority that's super angry all the time.
The pitchfork mob.
Yeah, it just seems like they assume that these are just like evil corporations that are doing everything they can to, like, you know, squeeze every penny out of your wallet. And it's like, well,
EA and Activision have done that.
Yeah.
Enough, but they burned enough people that's why I think that's the immediate reaction. EA has gotten better, letting Respawn kind of do their own thing, but Activision is burned in, like, they've squeezed the life out of Bungie that Bungie pushed back and got away. And then you look at some of the stuff with Ultimate Team on Madden and FIFA with EA, and just the money hungriness of it all. That's what rubs people the wrong way. And going back, the fact that you said, I initially thought it would be good if there could be one price for both games. It was even mentioned in the direct. Like they felt the need to mention it in the direct that you had to buy it separately for both games. Mm-hmm. Like that is it's a common thing that you would think. It's Pokemon because it's marketed as Pokemon Sword and Shield. Like that's how it's marketed. And then as an expansion pass, you would think that would cover the umbrella branding of it all, and it's not. So
I think at the very least they could throw a bone to people that are buying both of them and saying $49.99, you know,
or 40, or knock it down to 20. Like they're still getting extra money from you.
Yeah.
Some way. 40 would be more reasonable, I guess, if you got both. But
we're saying that without knowing the exact amount of content.
That's
right.
True.
So that's the other thing. I mean, this could be so much content. And then there's the other side where people are like, yeah, but this should have already been in the game. Like, oh
yeah,
man,
the whole
like,
Game Freak lied.
Yeah, you know, like I don't.
The Pokemon, now there's 200 Pokemon. That's the whole. That I think that's the one marketing line that they have in there with like 200 additional Pokemon. That's the biggest thing that's biting them in the butt, because people are coming back saying, well, it should have been in the game to begin with. I mean, you can't win. The internet's always going to come after you.
So what's interesting is I talked to I talked to some people on Thursday that you know, very big Pokemon fans, like enjoy the series, love the series, but they were both of the mind that they didn't mind seeing the purge because
it blooms too big and you can't handle what is it, 900 something Pokemon?
Yeah, the meta is just, it's messed up, like things aren't balanced. Like they were both excited that like the game was finally going to be a little more fun competitively, because it wasn't just this like, oh, this person has this one that's super OP. I don't know that it's exactly how it went, but just trying to understand what they were talking about, things like that. It made it sound like they were like, yes, the purge is great. Then let's slowly start adding things back and see if things can't get a little more balanced, you know? So, you know, I mean, you mentioned Madden. I never even played that Ultimate Team stuff. I could have cared less about it. I dropped my $60. I played my football. I was happy.
Yeah. And there's streamers that make entire content out of that stuff, which is good for them, but I can't imagine the money. I hope that they have a positive net on that based on their revenue that they make streaming or YouTube content or whatever, because I know that it's a gotcha mechanic, and it's just putting money in the vending machine hoping you get something good.
Yeah, and a lot of times those streamers will have a whale that is funding most of that stuff for them, you know. So, yeah, I don't know. We got a couple minutes. Smash Bros. Who do you think your fifth fighter is? Who do you think it is?
I hope it's. I'll put a blanket. I've seen Dante a lot today as the rumor, and you mentioned Witcher. I just hope it's not a sword character. That's what I want. No swords.
I saw Fallout Plays tweet the same thing.
I would love to see Master Chief, or I don't know if they could like I've always pushed. I would love to see like Joanna Dark. Like I think that would be cool.
Laura Croft.
But I think, yeah. I mean, Crash Bandicoot's been, or Spyro has been like on the wish list or whatever. I think maybe if Nintendo and Sakurai bend to the will of the internet with Waluigi, I think that would maybe come in Fighter Pack 2, or like the season 2 of Fighter Packs, because this has kept such a cadence with third party characters that I hope we kind of we see that continuing to go. Banjo is kind of the only asterisk on that, just because it was kind of a Nintendo character, iconic to the system of 64, but it was made by Rare, which is now owned by somebody else. But
wait, who?
I would like, Banjo.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I'd be okay with seeing something more from Microsoft, just because Rare is kind of that history with Nintendo, but now is owned by Microsoft. So I think that would be cool. But I'm just for no sword character. That's what I would like.
No sword characters. The Crawler has spoken. No sword characters. What if it was Kratos?
That would be absolutely insane. I mean, I think that would mean we were getting the original God of War trilogy then. Because that was on Vita, I think, right? So, and I think Vita had its own like Chains of Olympus or something like that. But those games are so different than where God of War went, and I know that I don't know how up for friendly play Sony is right now. So I don't know.
Who knows? Kratos would be amazing though, man.
Because is Spyro's Activision, right? So Spyro and Crash are both Activision. So Sony doesn't have claim to those. Those are still, because Cloud was such a big get back in Smash 4. Was that Smash 4? Yeah, it was Smash 4.
Yeah.
With Square bringing that, because Cloud was kind of one of those faces of the original PlayStation. So that's something that is just great to see, all these different characters from across all different consoles and generations and all that kind of stuff being brought onto the system.
I don't know what Grookey's final form is called, but I'd be okay with that.
Oh, the gorilla, yeah.
With the drums?
Yep.
I'm down.
Yep.
I'm down. So, all right, guys. Hey, let's wrap this thing up here. Crawler, where can people find you?
In the Discord. We mentioned it before. n64josh.com/discord. Come hang out. Come play. I'm down to race Mario Kart. Just tag me and let me know. Like I said, also I want to get my Dragon Quest playthrough kind of up and going, and I think that's where I'm gonna play it on stream. So you can follow me on Twitch as well at Nightcrawler724, Nightcrawlers without the E, and check me out there.
Cool, guys. You can find me everywhere at N64Josh. Remember to check out the Witcher sketch. Toss a coin to your washer. N64Josh.com/Witcher. And we are putting that writing team together. If you're interested, hit me up in the Discord. I'm going to... I want to kind of get everybody together, see who's interested, and see who, I'm going to need help, basically, is what it's going to boil down to. Like, getting things organized, getting people signed up on the site. Like, I want to kind of do a little bit of, like, the interview process a little bit just to see where people are at. But, like, I really want this to be something that we can, I can teach you guys about SEO, how to title things the correct way so that we get the most traffic to it, and that we can get, we can all start growing as a team, basically. That's the goal here. So if you're interested, hit me up in the Discord at N64Josh. I'll get that server made up, and we'll get going on it. And people are already hitting me up on the Discord. So that's going down. Really excited about that. I'm looking forward to this year. It's going to be a good year. If you're interested in that coaching, you want to get some just some one-on-one coaching with the content you're going to create. Like I said, I've got 10 spots right now. The first 30-minute session is $25. Okay, that'll just be one-on-one. Any questions you have, I'm gonna push you in the right direction for the content you want to create on community building, on SEO, how to get yourself out there, if you're streaming, how to market yourself, all that stuff. It's really important to me, and it's something I've done for a long time, and I know I can help. So info@n64josh.com or the Discord, however you want. My DMs are open on Twitter. Hit me up. It'd be great. And like I said, there is a lot of free content on my YouTube, on my website for growing your stream, things like that. So if you need some free help, check it out. With that, we love you guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye now.